What is going on, guys? We're going to videos, and today we're going to be doing a story time with Gump. So this is where I take a random point of time in my life or just anything about my life and I put it into a story time. Yay! So today I'm going to be talking about my most influential thing in my life, which is film, and what really impacted me the most throughout my years as a film fan. Before we get to the nerdy shit, I wanted to go as far back as I possibly can remember, before I was even a superhero fan, before I even knew what superheroes were. That is right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go back as far as Baby Gump, when I was 4 years old. Honestly, as a kid, I got scared of literally everything, but this changed everything for a long time. It still affects me to this day. Not as much, but it still affects me. A lot of people will bust my balls for admitting this, but I have no shame in admitting it. When I saw The Wizard of Oz, it gave me nightmares for a long time. For a long time. I think I just started school when I was like 4 or 5 years old. It was around there, but I'm pretty sure I was 4 years old. I started preschool, and I had to get a sit down with my teacher because I did not sleep in 3 days not because of the witches, even though the witches scared me. And the thing is, what's crazy about the movie is the Wicked Witch of the West didn't scare me the most. She was not even number 2. She was number 3. Number 2 was not even the monkeys. It was the lady on the bike in the tornado when she was having those like visions and shit like that. That was number 2 for me. That freaked the fuck out of me. Number 1 was tornadoes, because I remember asking my grandmom and my mom. At this time in my life, I rarely saw my mom because she was always in Atlantic City. For those who don't know, that is like a 50-minute drive from where I'm currently at right now. So I rarely got to see her. She was always working nights, so she was always sleeping during days. So this was like a big moment for me as a kid. Like, my mom was here and my grandmom was there. Boom, hooray. Exciting stuff. We watch Wizard of Oz. Tornado hits. I start freaking the fuck out. And I'm like, oh my god! And when it was all said and done, I'm shivering. And I asked them, are tornadoes real? And my grandmom cleared her throat. Didn't say anything. And then I specifically remember this happening, not only because it was such a terrifying moment for me, like, it really affected me to this day. My grandma liked to bust my balls ever since. I was like, every time I would bust her balls, she's like, oh, at least I wasn't scared of Wizard of Oz. I'm like, no, stop making fun of me. I say that affects me to this day is because I still have a huge fear of tornadoes. Every time we get tornado watches or tornado warnings, I still can't tell you the difference. I get a little bit spooked. I get a little bit freaked out. I remember when I just started living my fear of tornadoes down. My anxiety for it started like wearing down. We go to Florida for the first time, and we have fun. It was me, my grandma, my mom, and my brother and myself. We go there, had fun. We come back. As we are landing, we get reports that there is a tornado warning or tornado watch, whatever the whole thing where you see a funnel forming. That's what we got. And I instantly got into a panic. I didn't sleep for another 3 days. At the time, I think I was like 10 years old. I was freaked. So yeah, Wizard of Oz had a huge impact on me. I actually watched it again like 4 or 5 months ago. I was in school, in college, when I was watching it. And still, when the tornado scene came up and I heard the music, I still got a little bit of anxiety. And it's incredible how much a movie can affect you to that level of fear. But my fear of tornadoes has been leveled out to more realistic standards, but I still get freaked out. But it's insane how a movie from like the 1930s can have a much more realistic tornado than Twister or any other disaster movie that has a tornado in it. It's honestly depressing. The cinematic achievement in Wizard of Oz is insanity. Today we're going to learn how Baby Gump became a huge superhero fan. So when Spider-Man 1 came out, I was still too young. According to Google, it came out May 3rd, 2002. So at the time, I was still 3, about to turn 4. I was still too young to watch things like that in theaters. My mom got Spider-Man 1 on VHS, which a lot of kids don't know what that is nowadays. I'm not going to be like, oh, nostalgia trip, I miss those good old days. I mean, I miss those days, but VHSs were shit. I have ADHD, and as a kid, I was very apparent. And I would not sit still for literally anything. But when it came to Spider-Man, it was like one of the first few movies I can actually sit down and just watch it all. And my mom was really astounded. And my grandma was definitely just as astounded as anybody else was, because she was the one dealing with me 90% of the time. So they made it clear that we had to watch Spider-Man 2 together. So we ended up getting a time and day together. We got our travel van, and we went to my AMC theater, AMC 8. And I remember just freaking out in the theater, and I just fell in love. I was like, oh my god, it's so cool, so amazing, oh my god. And then I forget when Spider-Man 3 came out in correlation to Ultimate Alliance, but I remember they both happened, I think, around the same time. And I saw 3 as a kid. I loved it. I mean, I was like, I think 7, 8 at the time. I saw it, I loved it, even though I knew there was something off about it. And I got this lovely little game called Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. And it was at this point I fell in love with the comic book movie genre and the comic book scene in general. I loved superheroes at this point. I learned a lot about Thor. I learned. This is where I learned 90% of my characters as a kid. It was just Ultimate Alliance. I fucking loved that game. I never beat it as a kid. I beat it like 17 times as an adult, but I never beat it as a kid. I played that for like days on days on days, even though I could never beat the game. And then I started watching the X-Men movies, and the rest is literally history. And then the Marvel Cinematic Universe started coming out. And here we are today. So this is why Spider-Man is my favorite superhero of all time, because he has a special place in my heart. I feel like I can connect with him. I feel like a lot of us can connect with Spider-Man. So there's more than one reason why Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. It's because I grew up with him. He's what got me into movies in general. Because of him, I wanted to go to the movie theaters a lot more. Because of him, I wanted to see the Avengers so badly. Because remember Ultimate Alliance? I thought that was going to be like a movie one day. And I remember going to baseball practice, and I was like, damn, man, I just wanted to see an Ultimate Alliance movie. And this one guy, my brother's friend's dad, told me, he's like, dude, they are making an Avengers movie that is very much like Ultimate Alliance. And I remember like, oh my god! And then that's when I saw Captain America, the first Avenger, and they teased him going to New York. Nostalgia. I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below, though. What left the biggest impact on you as a fan, or as just movies in general? Go. What affected your life the most? I'm really excited to see if it becomes, if it's a fear, if it's just pure joy, what made you want to go into law. If there's anything like that when it comes to film, I want to hear your thoughts down below. Thank you guys so much for watching and sticking with me on this nostalgia trip, and I hope you guys have a nice day. Peace.